and good evening, everybody.
Hello.
I'm sad no one reacted to that.
We are professionals,
did.
Bri.
Just not the way you wanted.
So tonight we should be wrapping up the New York chapter of Master of Nyarlathotep. We will start off with more normal play. Most likely we'll lapse into broader strokes as we go along. But the first person in my lineup tonight is Bri.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bri. I play Bernadette Brandt. She's a little bit angry at the moment. She's the best person on the team with a gun and also runs a moonshine business.
Travis?
I'm playing Victor Oswald, reckless, homeless man extraordinaire. And yeah, I don't know what else to put right now.
All right. Terry.
Hello, I'm Terry. I play as James. I am the protagonist, if you will.
It just comes out and says, I'm the main character.
The nerd, the medic, mainly the medic for the homeless man, who I might actually kill if I have to continue being his medic. Hopefully he, stops hurting himself.
Medics do always hate to do their jobs.
Still, I am here.
Okay. And Joey's not on camera, but he's still with us.
Hey, everybody. Oh, God.
So when we wrapped up last time, you were finishing up a conflict in the secret cave underneath the Juju house, where this evil cult has apparently been taking victims to be sacrificed and to make monsters out of them. There are still a couple of the undead creatures kind of stumbling around, still trying to fulfill their last orders, and you can hear the hideous wails of a wounded beast in the well in this cellar with you. But Makunga Madari, the central figure of this cult, lies dead at your feet. Silas Naquame, the other potentially senior member of the cult, had already been killed and tossed into that well. And so you have a few minutes right now to try to figure out what you want to do, how you want to end this engagement.
Is there anything valuable in here?
All right.
I would say, make sure that everybody who kind of got hurt, I'm starting to patch them up now before we go back up.
Okay. Victor, first thing you're going to notice, Madari is actually holding a scepter in his hand. It's a wooden scepter carved with runes. That's going to be the first thing you notice at a quick glance. The local men who are down here with you, along with Millie Adams, are going to start taking care of the remaining Kimba. It is very clear that they know who these people are. As they're talking to each other, that's Jack from the grocery store. Nobody had seen Enid for a few days. Apparently, they got her too. So there is purpose and respect, but also mourning as they're kind of overpowering these creatures, and then carefully smothering the undead life out of them.
Well, okay.
First
Car-
off, I cannot currently see the map. Do you have that off?
No, it should be visible.
No, I can see the map.
Okay, so it's just me. Gotcha.
I'd like to also say that zombie is really on fire.
Yeah, he kind of collapses, like does not. It was only going to live a couple of turns after he got set on fire, so he collapses and continues to burn over in the corner there. There is still a hideous wailing coming out of the pit.
I'm gonna head over to the concrete topper on that thing and enlist Theodore and anyone else who wants to help to close that thing.
Well,
I'm just wait. Hold on.
the moment I'm not doing anything else.
I'm gonna
not
take-
like patching anybody out. So yeah, I will help with that while they're also finishing off the dead.
I really want to look down and just start shooting.
Okay.
But I think it's better if I just kind of like take pot shots at it without looking at it. Honestly,
Like you're gonna walk over, look the other direction, and put your shotgun down and start shooting.
more so like having the gun peek over the corner and just.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's gonna work real well.
Yeah, you hear pellets, or you were using slugs, weren't you?
Yeah, I was using slugs.
Yeah, so you hear them chipping off the stone, and you hear the creature below you screaming, but it does not let up screaming as you continue shooting.
Do we have more alcohol? Just because we're gonna put a top on this thing doesn't mean it's not gonna get out. We
The fact that it had
gotta.
to be pulled up by a crane kind of thing, then
Yeah,
But
but
I
that
don't
doesn't
think
mean-
it's going anywhere.
Millie is going to, at this point, look at her watch and then say, whatever you all have planned, you have about 15 minutes before Rebecca gets here.
Who missed his Rebecca?
Yes, I called Rebecca from New York Times to come down here at a certain time. Before, hopefully, the cops arrive.
Oh, I'm back to looting. I won't lie.
Well, other than doing... No, we can patch up quick later. I'd rather just run upstairs and start looking to see if we can find anything else.
All right. You want to run up? You want to look in the back room? In the Queen's
Mhm.
room? All right.
See if there's any other stuff that we can use to... I can't remember. It's been a while. I can't remember his name. Who is in jail again? On death row, basically?
That is Hilton Adams.
Hilton Adams. Okay. Yeah, just make sure that we can find enough proof and evidence that can get him set free.
I'm gonna look for any kind of ledger.
All right.
Anything that lists the names the names of folks who might be part of this cult.
All right. Then, based on what the group of you are looking for, Terry, underneath the bed in Silas's room, you are going to find a similar cloak, not as resplendent, but a similar cloak to what Madari had been wearing downstairs, as well as another headband with a mummified human tongue hanging off of it. So you find his ritual gear. You find.
I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that there. There's no point in me taking that. I'd rather use that as basically evidence to point towards to like the news and to the officers.
Back in the alcove, where the Kimba had come out of. So the two of you who are searching this chamber, there are some ritual implements up on the altar at the back of the room, but the alcove where the Kimba were apparently was used as also the most guarded point of the room. So, Birdie, based on what you're looking for, you will notice a locked money box. Sitting on a shelf embedded in the wall there. And Victor, you will find a number of things kind of bound up in a leopard skin hanging off of the wall. There is a treasure chest there that you should be able to see them in. But there's...
Oh, that's not me. Where's me? There's me.
There's a modern marine chronometer, a burnished copper bowl, a headband of gray metal, and a book. A book entitled Africa's Dark Sects.
Weren't we looking for this?
And when you open up the cover, it is stamped as being property of the trustees of Harvard University.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Well then.
Wait, okay. I know this is a little bit metagamey, but is the mask still in this room?
The mask is sitting on the altar.
I thought Connor had it and was hiding it.
It's possible. I don't remember for sure. It's been a couple
I
of
don't
months.
remember.
I don't remember what I was doing.
Yeah, I think you were mainly cowering on the floor.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Until he heard Birdie and said, or basically was like, you know what? I'm going to do something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I'll grab the bundle. I'll grab the wand, implement, scepter thing. And I'll leave Birdie with the, whole money box thing. I don't know what's in there, but if the mask is left out, I'll also take that because I have a penchant for masks right now.
You're gathering everything you can see that looks slightly occult, huh?
Yeah, basically, I won't lie.
So this is why we're not giving you the books.
He's got his own book now.
Meanwhile, Connor has ripped the Molotov out of the kid's hand and just takes the rag out and starts swinging. Starts downing the thing.
We're gonna let you self-medicate.
Wasn't that like 90 proof?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Connor is not far from the worst trauma of his life, so...
Does the lockbox have an external lock on it, or is it like built into the thing?
It is built into it.
Okay.
It's clear that you could jimmy this open if you took a little time with it, but it wouldn't be something you can just if you don't want to be here when the cops arrive, you're not going to sit on the floor and start opening it up now.
We definitely do not. How big is the lockbox?
It's meant for carrying cash. It's about this big.
I'm just gonna pick that up, tuck it under my arm, start heading upstairs.
All right. Millie is going to... Obviously, Carlton is still down here. Mrs. Ramsey had been carried up the ladder by... who was it that actually kind of lost his mind for a moment?
I'm pretty sure Connor did.
Well...
there was somebody else.
Here it is, Douglas. Douglas had grabbed her and was carrying her up the stairs. We'll assume that his friends stopped him in the shop upstairs. And Millie's going to suggest that you leave Carlton and Mrs. Ramsey here, as they can be part of the alibi for why they chose to raid the shop tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Since they obviously had more victims.
Oh, yeah.
She says to Verdi as the rest of you are packing out, now I apologize that I was playing my own game here a little bit, but I assume you don't want me to say anything to Rebecca about your involvement here?
Honestly, I'd prefer not. I dearly hope that this is enough to get your husband out, and if you need any monetary assistance. I volunteer my own pockets for that. And I'll write down and give her like a little sheet of paper with like my home address and phone number on it so that she can call.
Yeah, when you talk about providing monetary assistance, she gives an odd look at the cash box you have tucked under your arm.
Well, this I'm just taking for now. I'm fully planning on leaving it at the lawyer's office. I'm only going to have this for the next half hour. I swear to you.
How's our lawyer friend doing?
Is he still out?
Oh, yeah, he and his wife are both unconscious. They have clearly been given some sort of drug.
Okay.
Did he say if they were like they carved anything into their arms or anything?
Oh,
like that?
yes, they have symbols carved into their arms and legs.
All right, yeah, no, I'd like to bandage those at least as best as I can.
All right, that is really going to eat into your 15 minutes here.
Something quick, not too perfect, but just quick enough so it doesn't, leave it open.
Okay.
Like a tight rag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can give it a few tight knots. And then I assume that the group of you are going to be off into the night.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will make sure to tell them that there's robes and other stuff upstairs.
Okay. And as the group of you head off into the dark New York night, you can hear the sound of sirens pulling up, not just as you're just a few blocks away. And it is going to be up to the group of you to decide how successful you believe your mission has been.
None of us died.
Yeah, we didn't die.
Nope.
So I'd say it was pretty successful. On at least a part of, hey, we rescued Connor.
Oh yeah, we got Connor back.
High five.
Now the question is do we complete the second task that we were kind of giving ourselves, which is, did we save him from... Did we get him out, basically? Or that's the whole entire thing. That probably wouldn't be right away, instant stuff we'd find out.
Yeah, it's going to take some time for us to know about that. Although I'd say this would be a good case for possibly a luck roll.
Oh, don't worry about that. We don't need to decide through luck whether or not you've succeeded in that part.
Okay.
So, with at least the ringleaders of the cult gone, you are going to most likely figure it's safe to head back to your safe house now. You can tell me.
I'd say so.
You can tell me if that's wrong, but that's where I'm assuming. I'm just pulling you up on screen.
Yeah,
here.
I'd say it would be safe to go back, although I'm still kind of worried because...
Did Theodore get shot at?
Shot at, but never got hit.
Yeah.
At least the character thing that I see, he's wounded, so I have to ask.
I think that's his sanity. Oh no, he is 8 points down.
When did that happen?
I don't know.
Sometime during the fight.
I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna give him a drink and give him a slap on the back, hey yo, got bloody. Let's go. Father-son bonding moment. Yeah, pretty much. It's all downhill from here, son. Let's go.
God.
Yeah, he will. Obviously, he wants you to be proud of him, so you give him a shot of liquor. He's gonna drink it, and then let's give him a Constitution roll.
Yeah. I gave him
the
the
only
hard.
the only booze we have is the hard stuff. All right.
Hey.
You did
All
pretty
right.
good.
Yeah, he obviously it
Took it like a
obviously
champ.
burns on the way down, but he just manages to keep it down.
Took it like a champ.
Yeah. Looks like it's taking the edge off of some of his wounds.
Good.
How's Connor doing, though?
Connor has been drinking on that on one of the flasks that we have for this entire time, and he's finally just now come up for air.
Is he
Sorry about leaving you
driving,
there.
or is he
No.
letting Birdie drive?
Pretty
He's
sure
not driving.
Okay.
He's already a little gone because of how much he's downed in one breath. He puts a thumb over the whole point at Victor and says, "You, my friend, are utterly fucked. And you fucked me."
I'm sorry for leaving you there.
No,
We almost had it. We did good.
bigger things. Bigger things. Whatever the hell we pissed off.
What you mean?
And he's trying to find the words for creature that had no face on a pile of bone.
Also, Victor never told the rest of us what he saw in the mask, did he?
No. Those are
No,
some
he
dark
didn't.
secrets you keep to yourself.
He looks Victor dead, like still sitting on the ground and leaning against the wall, and he says, "They put a mask on me too. I know."
You see-
Victor put it on voluntarily.
You see Victor actually holding the mask that they put on you.
I would have put it in like a what's the word? Pillowcase. I would have stole a pillowcase.
Maybe you stuffed it in the leopard skin with the rest of the items you took.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. But I'm assuming everybody else can see you carrying like a literal leopard skin bag around.
I won't
I ain't
hide the
questioning it
fact
yet.
that I took the mask at all.
Alright, into the vehicle. We can continue having this conversation later.
Well, we're back at headquarters now.
I was about to say,
okay.
we're already back.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like leaning against
Did you
the
meet
wall.
God? Or at least he called himself God.
Victor looking at his nearly empty thing of shine. Yep, he called himself God.
What's going on?
I thought that was a delusion, honestly. Mostly. I hope.
Victor's like folding it up and swishing it around, and he says, "Well, they put the mask on me. I was taken into a what a madman would call a throne room, and I saw his face, or what was in there instead of face." He starts mumbling to himself, takes another swig.
Give me
Slaps it
2
down.
seconds.
Anyways,
2 seconds. I heard anyway.
Besides the point, besides any of that, I was told that I am to be in service to this god, either if I accept it or not. That was what was going to be thrusted upon me.
My friend,
And yes,
we're our own free agents. You don't have to listen Someone pretending to be God.
Victor looks like he's about if his eyes could kill.
I mean, no offense, but
He looks at you. We are in this mess because you put on the mask and you said yes. And now he made me say yes so that I had to protect you. And so that you can live up to your promise to him. Whatever the hell that means.
I made no promise. I
Birdie
remember.
just is looking at Victor.
Listen. I still
Did
have
you
the gold
accept a
mask,
deal?
right?
I'm not sure where you keep the gold mask, but it's still in your possession if you want it to be.
I imagine I live out in a truck somewhere.
Birdie, whenever they forced that mask onto me, I was taken into a room filled with the bones of desiccated corpses. There was no way out. The man
I'm not mad at
skin
you.
felt like stone.
I'm mad at Victor, not you.
I'm sorry, I don't quite understand. Yet again, we are on. Just because someone claims to be God doesn't make them a god. You don't have to follow what he says.
Victor?
Hey, Theodore. I'll just come over here and let me patch you up while they all talk.
Yeah, his eyes are round as saucers. He's obviously a little alarmed. He has heard, like, I assume over the years Victor's mentioned some things to him about, maybe not specifically about the experiences, but you get drunk a lot, don't you?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta repress that somehow.
So he has some inkling that what you've been through before is connected to the fact that he doesn't have a mother anymore.
That's fair. Unsaid, but fair.
So yeah, when all this is going on, I think that James's offer is going to be gratefully accepted.
Whatever it was that talked to me,
We'll just move over into the bedroom.
Slight clarification, Andrew. I haven't been contacted or anything really outside of like the mask and like the incident that happened after, like I said, or after I went home, right?
I suppose it depends on what you mean by contacted.
Without looking into the mask,
you've been haunted and pursued by cults, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
When I mean contacted, I mean by external forces that claim to be God.
You haven't had any more direct. You haven't had any more direct visions like the one you had,
okay.
right?
Victor?
Listen.
Do you know a single damn thing about dealing with the supernatural, or have you just been blowing smoke up our asses? And I want to emphasize, Birdie doesn't curse, so this should be a slap in the face.
I've been trying to find more out. I need to read. I haven't found much on this. People have been trying to talk to me and like weirdos, but like they're always deviants, and I can't stand for that. I figured
Victor?
after we finished what happened in Peru, it was laid to rest, but...
Victor, if something tells you that it is God, and you accept a bargain with that thing, it doesn't matter what you believe. It's going to hold you to that because, believe it or not, the only things that claim to be God are things strong enough to beat the hell out of anybody who says otherwise.
So if I claim to be God, would you accept that?
I can shoot you in the face right now, so no.
Well, I plan on shooting whoever has claimed to be God, and so no, I'm not taking that seriously.
Victor, I hit it. I slapped his hand away from my face. It felt like I was punching a mountain.
From what I've read and understood, you're not physically there. You're astrally projecting. I think I'm using the right terminology here.
It's a fair terminology.
Whatever it is, I don't trust it. And I don't take what it says at face value.
But you made a deal.
I will
with it.
find what it is. And just like in Peru, I will put it back down. It doesn't matter.
Well, apparently it hasn't been put down.
It has the habit of forcing the deal upon you. I had to make a deal. It was either that or death.
At least you told us. Victor apparently never told us that whatever it was had been speaking with him, and he made a deal. That is important information that is vital to the survival of our group.
Got a rebuttal there, Victor.
Well, one second. I gotta.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
After we left Peru, I didn't think we'd all meet again, and I didn't think that those two things were coincidence. Or not coincidence. I thought they were two different events. I didn't know. I didn't think I had to share something like that. I thought what happened in Peru was laid to rest. I don't want to talk about it again. I've been doing my own research on this and trying to figure out what exactly this thing is, so I could take care of it. Because I'm not going to let this thing run around.
Apparently, it's exactly the same thing, so you'd better tell us everything and anything you know about it for our own survival.
Andrew, I think this is a fair time to say what information have I been able to gather on this? I think this is very good for you to spew information out. Because we never talked about this, and like you understand what I'm putting down, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you make a mythos roll?
Oh. That's the wrong character sheet. I haven't learned a goddamn lot.
Well, you, I think, like, without a success, I think you would have been able to put together that what was calling itself the father, I think it was calling itself the father of worms in Peru, was like one aspect of a greater deity. So, you were... Now, let's make this clear to everybody else. In character, you can all blame him for making a deal. Outside of character, he didn't agree to make a deal.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
The thing just told him, what you just did means that you're a priest now.
Yep. Yeah. In character is very different from out of character. Out of character, I love most of Fluffy's choices.
Yeah.
I always like to keep things interesting.
You found that out when outside forces kept showing up to try to force you to assume your duties. We haven't discussed exactly what happened to your family, but I think that what happened to them is they was supposed to teach you a lesson. It was supposed to remove most of the other interests you have in the world so that you can focus on your duties.
The obligations.
Yeah. You know that whatever considers you to be devoted to it has multiple aspects under which it's worshipped all over the world. but you don't know all of them, and you don't know exactly how they're connected or what other names it goes by.
And that's about as much as I know. Whatever it is, made sure either someone's making sure this information's hidden from everyone else, or no one cares enough to read into it.
I'm more inclined to believe the former, because you keep these things secret with the outside world. You know, unless it's going to affect someone's life.
Well, if God was real, wouldn't you want to announce it to the world?
No, actually. Because there's always people trying to stop gods. Have you read any history? Look at history and you can see multiple examples of people arguing over whose god is right.
Regardless of whose God is right, this God actually has influence, has some degree of influence on this plane. I don't think I've seen the Christian God act out in this way, at least to me.
No, I'd say not. Now, what exactly did happen to you in Peru?
When I went off with the professor, he's the one who died, right? Yeah. I looked at the golden mask. If you remember seeing it at all, I made sure to keep it for myself because I wouldn't want anyone else to touch it. I had a vision. I would like. Would you happen to have like roughly what I seen? Because I remember we wrote it down, but it's been weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, essentially you were in a room with a large, kind of looked like an Egyptian pharaoh.
Wasn't there, like, I want to say, like, architecture or, like, something before I entered the room? Like, I remember...
As I recall, I haven't gone back and looked in some time either, but as I recall, you were in a void. You didn't see the same...
Oh.
You didn't see the same throne of bones and all that Connor did. You saw this creature sitting on, like an obsidian throne in a void.
I want to say that there was some show before it.
You
Like,
did see...
I'd seen something.
I think... I don't remember if it was the same vision or not, but... Or possibly it was Birdie that saw the vision of the pyramid, where the father Moses...
I saw the pyramid with fleshy appendages reaching out through the top towards the sky.
I wasn't sure if that was me or not.
Yeah, no, that one was me.
That might be me. Either way, I have decided. All right, I haven't had the choice but to fight this thing, and whatever it is, and I ain't gonna stop until I know it's gone.
Victor, I'm gonna ask you this politely, only once. Tell us when things like this happen, all right? Because believe it or not, the rest of us might have some context that you do not. The rest of us may have had something happen. The rest of us may have something happen in the future.
Whatever it was, I didn't want it to hurt anyone else.
Well, you can set that aside in the future.
I think it's a little too late to say that you guys will be left alone now.
Yeah. Connor takes another swing at that.
I'm gonna start. I guess unless Birdie has anything else to do, I'm just gonna start reading that one book.
All right. It is on your character sheet, so you can open it up and do the initial reading.
Yeah. I'm gonna be a little moody while I read it too. I'm gonna go to the corner. The light's just gonna be a little too dark for anyone but to see. I'm angry. My past trauma was brought back up. Oh. It's in Gears of
And
So how does me healing people work again? So I can't remember if it was one or if I could do both, and I had a chance to.
You do first aid, and then I think you can also do medicine.
How do I read it?
Open it, like double click on it, or hit the. You might have to hit the.
Initial reading.
Yeah. What's your English? What's your own language?
My English is 65, I think. It's off of your education, right?
Okay. Yeah, you honestly shouldn't have to make a roll because it's in your native language. But one thing you notice as you're flipping through it is a telegram. A telegram that's apparently came from London, from somebody calling themselves the White Spider. It says, the Magician's Act has lost appeal. Please cancel contract.
I will put that aside, because I'm sure someone else, or other people would like to have some time in the spotlight.
I want to open up that lot box.
It was a 1d4, right?
That's correct.
All right. Let's see how much I heal Theodore for. 2.
That is good enough to bind up his wounds, and anything that was bleeding isn't bleeding anymore. And between that and the shot of, I'm assuming, whiskey he's already had, he's not feeling any pain now.
Good.
So, can I switch back and forth between the two out of curiosity, or do you want me to stick with one?
The two characters?
Yeah.
I figure you'll switch to him when you need to.
Okay, because if Terry wanted to do anything else with Theodore, I would give him the opportunity.
I feel like I'm trying to listen to what some of the stuff you guys are saying while trying to patch him and trying to distract him at the same time. It's probably like a mess. That's the best way I could describe it.
I'm gonna have you... I'm just gonna keep doing this until it's... It does not want you to read this book.
Damn. He's having a bad time trying to read this book. He's pouting too much.
What in the world?
I'm not educated, okay?
Oh my god. Yeah, you're really pouting.
He's having a bad time.
Am I supposed to click intelligence check?
Yes.
It's not letting me. User lacks permission to update chat message. You remember everything.
Oh.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Oh, wow. Did I lose 10?
You lost 10.
Oh, God.
Roll D100, please.
He's very upset.
54.
It's on page 160. Laconophobia, the fear of vegetables. not sure. That might be a little more silly than we're looking for.
Uh,
All right. So this book was written by an explorer named Nigel Blackwell during his travels across Africa. It's kind of an odd mix of travelogue and of expose of the ritual practices of a variety of African cults. Although the notes of his travel were obviously turned into a book, no publisher is listed on the title page, and Blackwell himself is impossible to track down. Some believe the book may have been written under a pseudonym, but there are no candidates as to the real author, if that is the case. I think what's going to cause you to have this, what's really going to get you here
is the past traumas.
Well, you find that you're just skimming this, so you don't have the full knowledge of the book yet. But you find one section in particular where Blackwell stumbled across the cult of the Bloody Tongue, and he witnessed a priestess summoning an enormous creature with a creature so large that it blotted out the sky and the moon, and he could see the head of the creature was an extended bloody tentacle, like an enormous tongue reaching into the sky.
Okay.
And you're going to realize that you're going to make that connection between the headbands that all of these people wear and what apparently is the god that Nigel Blackwell saw them summon.
So to clarify, this is not a cult that's worshipping whatever god that I have met, but some other aspect. Is that fair to say?
It's definitely not the father of worms.
Okay.
So you are going to end up just completely raving in the corner to yourself.
This doesn't tell me anything!
Why don't we give you... How about selenophobia, fear of the moon?
Is this temporary?
No.
The fear of Faber. Give him the fear of Faber.
Oh,
I'm
God.
I'm not trying to give you something debilitating. Just something that you need to keep in mind in the future. Now, it doesn't have to control your actions at all times, but when you're, particularly when you're close to the edge of madness, this is going to affect you. But the description of the god blotting out the sight of the sky and the moon is just going to be so salacious that it's going to affect your... Anytime you see the moon, you're going to be reminded of it. So
There's going to be just a little bit of fear that it might disappear.
Hi.
So yeah, you can add that to your character sheet somewhere just as a note to remind yourself.
Holy shit, and Joey's here.
All right.
Right? Oh, freak it out. I just saw my camera light turn on and I was like, wait, what?
Hi, Joey.
It only took, what, an hour? 2 hours?
The book doesn't describe any of the items that I found, however, correct?
Well, to be honest, you're going to be kind of out of it for a while.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in the corner brooding.
You've made all of the connections you're capable of for now.
Okay, that's fair.
what did you do with the rest of the items? Did you just kind of leave them on the table for anybody to look at, or are they guarded jealously?
They're on the table. I'm reading the book. Like, they're trophies, because I'm gonna start collecting trophies from each of our cults that we destroy. That's my plan. But, like, they can look at it.
Okay.
I'm opening the lockbox first.
That is fair.
I'll move from Theodore to just Connor, because I'm pretty sure Connor was still hurt, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, time to start
Oh, yeah,
patching
yeah.
you up, buddy.
Connor was dying.
I don't remember if Victor got hurt at all during our rescue.
Probably.
Birdie did, but it was just a few scratches. Like, she's at
Still
a
work
little
on it.
above half health, but it
I know
was
I
mostly
didn't
just
get hit.
scratches.
I still have the 4 missing from before.
Birdie, how careful are you being? Do you want to try to pick the lock, or are you just going to pry it open?
I'm just going to pry it open.
All right. So it's not going to... it takes a little bit of doing, but you don't need to roll anything because you're not under a time crunch under here. You can just grab a screwdriver or a knife and jam it in there until it gives way and pops open.
If it had been an external lock, I would have just shot the lock.
You find inside. You find a ledger, as well as multiple pieces of jewelry, watches with names engraved in them, rings, necklaces.
Do the names ring any bells?
Yeah, you
Like,
see a...
I remember somebody said, "Oh, that one's Jack." Do I see one with the name Jack on it?
Yeah, you actually do. One of the watches is inscribed with one of the victims' names. And you realize that you have most likely removed a piece of evidence tying multiple victims to the cult.
Okay, well, we'll be returning that.
Well, so there's a thing called chain of custody.
There is.
Yeah. And when you flip through the ledger, you find that it is keeping track of the... mostly it's keeping track of the business in the store. So it lists who bought, like... well, not necessarily who, but it lists purchases of artwork and expenses for imports of more artwork. But there are also a series of payments that are very clearly to a group of police officers.
Hmm.
We could always turn it into a searching police officer.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Leave this lockbox on someone's doorstep. Along with a nice little letter. I'm actually going to pull out a couple pieces of paper and write just a very neat little note saying, removed from Juju House. Think this is important.
So one thing you might want to keep in mind is that if you do that, it is going to let the police know that there were other people involved that evening.
What if I drop it off at Millie's door?
Anything you do to reintroduce the evidence that you took is going to cause complications for you. Now, whether that's worth it or not is up to you, but it is going to broaden the investigation. You don't have to make that decision right this moment, but it's something to think about.
Yeah.
At the very least, right now, there's enough information that's available to reopen up his case, and postpone his sentence date.
Yeah, the one of the victims who was just rescued is, in fact, a lawyer who was going to be killed in the same way that or in a similar fashion to the way that the supposed victims of Hilton Adams were murdered. So there is obviously only time will tell, but there is a good chance that Hilton is going to be let off of death row. But most likely, the cops who were on the take from this cult are not going to be in any way implicated.
Best we could do is send that list to our fellow cop and let him figure out what to do with it. Sure, he could turn it in, but then that's going to be a lot of extra stuff for him to do.
I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing.
He does play everything by the book.
He does. I say we drop it off at his door shortly before leaving the country, so that we, at least, cannot be linked to it.
So, Terry, you have patched up Theodore. And Connor, you're not possibly in the best frame of mind right now, but you don't have anything in particular that you've told me you're doing. So, do either of you have anything in mind for now?
Connor has been drinking heavily, and
I think he's just moving a little bit from that, and I can't keep him still to patch him up properly.
Yeah, no, he'll let you work on him, but like
you're swaying a little bit too much.
Yeah, and he's finding the words to describe what he saw. Because, this is his second language.
Mm-hmm. So he's just muttering in Irish over in the corner.
I'm going to assume then that at some point the group of you decide to go to bed.
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm staying up for a while to keep watch. After last time, I ain't taking chances.
That's fair. But the evening passes, and the new day begins. And if you're all planning to lay low for a little while, the early morning edition of the paper does include an article by Rebecca Schossenberg that includes doesn't have the full story. Obviously, things are still under investigation, but it's about it indicates that something really big and really scandalous went down at an art house in Harlem last night, involving multiple murders, occult elements, and that the police are involved and re-examining evidence on the string of murders from last year.
Good.
And I think...
Does it say by any chance who the head? Like who's like the head leading for the police, or is it just saying that the police are just?
Let's see. They will have interviewed a Captain Robson, who showed up at the scene first. And he was brusque and had no interest in speaking with reporters, and tried to clear the scene as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Is that one of the names I had in my ledger?
He's not listed by name in the ledger, but he is the person that Millie suspected was on the take.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the person that I talked to again?
That is Martin Poole. He's a homicide detective.
I gotta remember that.
Now, Robson, however, is in robbery. So as the days go by, it is shifted out of, like, the investigation is shifted out from under his jurisdiction. Because there are multiple homicide victims in the cellar. It's probably going to be a week or two before you can make any contact with your lawyer, as he and his wife are recovering in the hospital and giving victim statements.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are able to safely establish contact without the police listening in, he is going to be grateful to all of you. He'll say that Millie filled him in on your involvement, and obviously he's not going to say anything to the police.
Grateful for that.
But he's going to suggest that in a couple of weeks, once all of your passports are lined up, perhaps you should make arrangements to leave the country.
Oh,
Just for a little
we
while.
plan. We plan on it. We plan on leaving for a couple months, probably.
All right.
Also,
At that, he asks, where were you planning to go?
I think we need a little bit of time.
I think we're planning on England. I don't mind telling him nothing.
I mean, yeah, but like England next?
I think so, yeah. That was where our next bit of evidence was leading us.
Can't remember what all the evidence were.
I think Connor mumbling something about going to hell instead.
It's a couple weeks later. Connor's still drunk.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah, he's been on the non-stop bender since.
I wasn't joking about letting him self-medicate.
The second that he'll stop is the second that he needs to be the one behind the wheel.
Mm-hmm. But,
Yeah, I will drop a link to the Miro board into Discord.
if we had a little bit better way of doing so, I'd say we plant this lockbox back in the house in somewhere that no one's looked before.
Well, it has
But
been
I ain't
jimmied
willing
open.
to get within.
I think we should talk in hypotheticals with the lawyer of what we would do if we found such a thing, but not wanting to be implicated.
I think he would probably suggest there's not a whole lot that could be done to reintroduce this evidence at this point. It's not a bad idea to turn it over somehow, but possibly, like Birdie said a little while ago, maybe right before you leave.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no
Dropping
way you
it
end up in
off
the
on
dragnet.
Poole's doorstep before we leave the country. Like, night of leaving the country, we drop it off on his doorstep.
Over those couple weeks as well, you'll have an opportunity to examine the other artifacts that were taken from the Juju house, including a modern marine chronometer, which is just an extremely accurate watch meant for use on ships. Burnished copper bowl, which is etched with unfamiliar signs and runes. That scepter, which is carved from a single piece of wood and inset with runes as well. There is a headband of gray metal, which again has runes scratched into the surface. This headband is particularly heavy and curiously warm at all times.
What happens if I put it on?
The second you try, I'm slapping the hell out of you.
You think I'm gonna try it on while people were watching me? I'd be too judgmental for that.
All right. Yeah. If you put it on, you just feel like you have a warm band of metal sitting on your forehead. But you can try to examine the runes and see if you can figure out what it is, if you'd like.
Yeah.
That would, of course, be a mythos roll.
Okay. I just got some more, so I'm confident. I got 15 mythos. Oh my god, what is with my luck today? I'm done. I quit.
It's okay. Sometimes
You
you're not
spent
meant
it
to
at
get
the
the answers
beginning.
easily.
Oh no, I rolled a I failed a 15% chance of success.
Yeah, but if you roll back up, there's like 4 different times I failed a 65.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
mask.
but the harder one is so much going to be. It's guaranteed to win. That's what's happening here.
It went up by 2%.
What about the mask?
The mask is also carved out of wood. It has, sitting atop it, it has 4 hideous faces pointing in what would be the 4 cardinal directions, but it's just like in front of you, behind you, to your 2 sides. They are not the same faces. They are perched atop a thick corded neck with a basket-like reed, feather, and fabric collar, which is what actually covers your face when you're wearing the mask.
Can I just kind of like put the 2 masks next to each other, see if there's anything similar about them?
Let them get to know
Put
each
the
other.
gold mask in the reed mask.
Yeah, there is no similarity between the face carved on that mask and the ones on the wooden mask.
And I'm going to break out amongst the stones and start reading through that.
Okay. Is that the one that you had committed an initial reading of? Or
No,
not?
the initial one that I'd read was the Narcotic manuscripts.
Okay. That one's a bad boy. But if you want to read Amongst the Stones, go ahead and give that your initial reading.
Okay.
In order to get
books anymore?
Bout of Madness, are you supposed to go over your daily limit?
No.
No?
There are 2 ways. Here's your daily limit.
Okay.
There's also a certain number in one go.
Okay.
I don't remember what that certain number
Initial
is.
reading
But
again.
yeah, roll initial reading on the Amongst the Stones.
Everyone's just trying to get Cthulhu Mythos right now.
Which button is that?
I'm not.
If you open
Yeah,
up
I'm avoiding
the
it.
tome itself, there's a button that says initial
Oh,
reading.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's a way currently that I can make the roll automatic. So we'll just have you, if necessary, roll it multiple times.
I'll also produce that the white spider thing, so everyone knows it. You know, because I don't always keep the shit hidden, guys.
Yeah,
I only keep the bad stuff hidden.
Mm-hmm. I'm still not seeing a button for initial reading.
I will just do it. There we go.
Oh, God.
That's okay. It's just 1. Why is it? Oh, because you're already mad. You haven't recovered from your underlying insanity yet.
I thought I had. I thought we cleared that last time.
It takes a while. It takes a while.
There's a reason why I'm not reading them.
That's why Connor is very, very deep into every bottle that he has ever touched.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we say for this that the significant person is going to be Connor, and the 2 of you are going to go on a bender together, and perhaps be less cautious than maybe you should have been. But for now, at least, nothing bad is going to come of it.
Okay.
So, when does a bout of endless end? Because within that 4 weeks, I would like to finish reading that, at least the African novel.
Hold on, we'll get there.
No worries, no worries. I'm not trying to steal the spotlight forever.
So, one thing you're going to run across, you also find something tucked into the book.
Ooh.
And what you're going to find is, after you read through it, you're going to find that this is medical records. These are psychiatric notes from when Roger Carlyle was visiting Dr. Houston. Would you like to read it, or should I do it?
I can read it.
Okay. You can hit highlights if you want, or you can just go through the whole thing, either way.
I'm going to go through the whole thing. And Birdie is going to be reading this out loud to the group. Carlisle medical records. Reference Erica Carlisle, closest relative. First meeting January 11th, 1918. At his sister's insistence, Mr. Roger Vane Worthington Carlisle visited me this morning. He deprecates the importance of his state of mind, but concedes that he has some trouble sleeping due to a recurring dream in which he hears a distant voice calling his name. Interestingly, the voice uses Mr. Carlyle's second given name, Vane, by which Mr. Carlyle admits he always thinks of himself. Carlyle moves towards the voice and has to struggle through a web-like mist in which the caller is... Bunch of weird letters here. Understood to stand.
This is typewritten, and that was crossing out a typo.
Ah, okay. Understood to stand. The caller is a man tall, gaunt, dark. An inverted ankh blazes on his forehead. Following the Egyptian theme, Carlyle has no conscious interest in things Egyptian, he says. The man extends his hand to Carlyle, his palms held upward. Pictured on his left palm, Carlyle discovers his own face. On the right palm, Carlyle sees an unusual misshapen pyramid. The caller then brings his hands together, and Carlyle feels himself float off the ground into space. He halts before an assemblage of monstrous figures, figures of humans with animal limbs, with fangs and talons, or of no particular shape at all. All of them circle a pulsating ball of yellow energy, which Carlyle recognizes as another aspect of the calling man. The ball draws him in, he becomes part of it, and sees through eyes not his own. A great triangle appears in the void, its twisted symmetry of the same fashion as the vision of the pyramid. Carlyle then hears the caller say, "And become with me a god." I'm going to take a second, and I'm going to look up at Victor and then glance over at Connor. As millions of odd shapes and forms rush into the triangle, Carlyle awakes. Carlyle does not consider this dream a nightmare, although it upsets his sleep. He says that he revels in it and that it is a genuine calling, although my strong impression is that he actually is undecided about it. An inability to choose seems to characterize much of his life. September 18th, 1918. So this is several months later. He calls her Moweru, Anastasia, and my priestess. He is obsessive about her, as well he might be. Exterior devotion is certainly one way to ease the tensions of megalomaniacal contradictions. She is certainly a rival to my authority. December 3rd, 1918. If I do not go, Carlyle threatens exposure. If I do go, all pretense of analysis surely will be lost. What then will be my role? Oh, well, that's promising. Any of this sound familiar to either of you two?
I might have zoned out.
Good job, Fluffy.
No problem. You can always rely on me.
Collectively, the group of you will recognize that Dr. Houston did go on the Carlisle expedition. And there were questions about why exactly a psychiatrist was being invited along, because he didn't have any particular knowledge or interest in Egypt. But Carlisle had a habit of making his close friends and associates into his full-time companions. So
I wish I had a friend like that.
It's ironic that Fluffy wasn't paying attention, because I'm pretty sure he'd recognize the description.
I heard something about God and you looking at me, and I was like, what did I do now?
the mysterious figure looked similar to an Egyptian pharaoh who appeared in Carlisle's dreams, promised to make him into a god.
I want to be a god.
Well, you ain't doing the things, apparently, he asked you to do to become one, so whose fault is that?
Amongst the stones is a collection of poetry. Some of the poems have been later collected in future volumes in exactly the same versions, but there are also some earlier versions which ended up being heavily revised before they reached official publishing. And some of them are unique to this manuscript. It is difficult at an initial reading to see exactly how these poems are related to what you're investigating right now, but you suspect if you keep looking into it, some things will make themselves clear.
All right. Well, I'm going to have read this book several times over the couple of weeks that we're stuck here.
All right.
We're sending James out for food.
Well, I think that you and Connor, during your bender, might have left the building for a while. But
Possibly.
Nothing bad came of it. Yeah, Amongst the Stones will take you about 3 days to fully read.
Okay.
I mean, Connor is a good enough driver that I think he could drive drunk, and no one would notice.
I will also be doing a full read of the book I have.
Like an 80 is ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure everyone was drunk in the 80s. Not 80s. Early 30s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And surprisingly, I did not do a single drive chat with Connor this entire run, apparently.
Well, yeah, because you got kidnapped when we were doing the driving.
Right? It's fun, though.
Africa's Dark Sects will take 3 weeks to fully read. So if you want to do that, that's pretty much going to be your main, pretty much the full activity of what you're doing over the next few weeks.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Like, I already took a 10. Like, how worse can my luck get today?
Okay.
Yes.
And before he gets sucked back into the void to talk with God.
Well, I'm not going to do that to you. But, and I'm not going to make you have another bout of madness during this. We've done enough of that. But you do lose another 10 sanity. You end up gaining a total of 4 mythos from reading the book. And you are going to learn your first spell.
Let's go. I don't... Given that this is going to be a lengthy period of time, I'm not going to be taking another bout of madness, am I?
No, we'll just let that go for now.
Let's go, 19 Cthulhu Mythos. Yeah. I gotta pump those numbers up.
No, I need to figure out how to pump those numbers down. I don't like having to.
Oh, once you know, you can't go back.
Yeah.
What is known cannot be unknown.
No.
I'm
pretty sure Connor's working on it. Connor is working on the method.
The drunken method might work.
This book is worth holding on to because while you've gained everything you can from it, based just on reading the text, when you're investigating future mysteries, you can use it as a resource to leverage. There's more information you can get with additional context, and you are going to, willingly or not, learn the method by which the undead servants in the basement are created.
Good job.
So, you know that
you become a necromancer.
it requires ritually mutilating a person to sacrifice them. And then a ritual over the dead body before it will reanimate about 20 hours later. You can create an undead servant. Now, this spell does nothing to prevent the corpse from rotting. So this is something you would have to do periodically.
Well, I don't think I'm going to be using this one, so it don't really matter. I don't know a circumstance in which this would be beneficial to me. Effect label.
Either way, you know how to do it now.
This is true.
Let's see. Birdie, the Narcotic Manuscripts is an extremely potent and dense source of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So, it takes longer to do a full reading of this book.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised.
Amongst the Stones, full reading is, I think, 6 days. Narcotic Manuscript is going to take you something more on the lines of 20 weeks. But you can get some of that done now if you choose to, or you can focus on other things.
Yeah, I'm gonna read Amongst the Stones first, completely, and then I'm gonna spend a week with the Narcotic Manuscripts. That's it.
And Terry, do you want to continue, or I'm sorry, James, do you want to continue any of the readings you're doing?
No. Looked at it once, said, all right, that's all I needed to know.
Okay. That's fair.
Someone else wants to read it, they can read it. I'd like to
go
not go insane again. But I'm keeping it away from the ones that are, currently reading stuff and going crazy.
In order to destroy what I need to destroy, I need knowledge. Knowledge.
That knowledge is making you insane.
Okay, but what color is your Lamborghini? What's a
Lamborghini?
I was making a joke. The old ad where the guy's in his garage, talking about knowledge.
That
was the joke. Don't think about it.
See, you're already crazy. You're talking about stuff that don't exist.
Invest in apples, invest in apples, invest in apples.
Would anybody mind making a either natural world or botany roll?
What was the first option?
Natural world or botany.
I have 50 in natural world.
Okay. Fluffy should probably do
All right.
Dang!
I was about to say natural world 30. I'll take my chances.
So, James, you're going to find yourself just idly examining the mask that gave Connor problems. And you're going to realize that while the feathers appear to be from flamingos and other birds native to Africa, and the fabrics are just woven out of cotton, the wood itself does not look like any wood that exists on Earth.
What about that golden mask that he had? That
I
Victor
will. I would have at this point made sure to put something over the back of it in order not to be able to look at it. You know what I mean?
I feel like I'm smart enough not to go and look at the inside of the mask or even put it on.
I
After
figure
hearing
this, but
what
I'm making
happened
sure
between you guys.
I'm making sure that it's said that you can't accidentally look at it. I'm just saying.
Is that mask not actually wood and is actually made out of bone?
Oh no, it's wood.
It is wood.
No,
is
it's
wood.
space wood. Come on.
The mask, the other, what's called the golden mirror, because it actually doesn't have eye holes or anything. It is made of gold.
That is gold.
It is actual gold.
Are these like thin masks, or are they a bit like more on the thicker side?
Well, the mask that Connor was wearing is like an enormous, not enormous, but it's a large headpiece. Like, it sits here, and then extending off the top of it are different ugly faces, like hideous faces. But then what comes down over your face itself is made of reed and fabric and feathers. And if you've talked to Connor about his experience with it at all, you'll understand that as it's placed over your face, it conforms to your face. As in, tightly.
So it's flexible wood. That's upsetting.
All right.
I think we should have a place to keep these items. Because carrying it around with us isn't ideal. Especially if we're going to be traveling abroad. And I wouldn't trust any of any of your estates to hold it in case someone decides to raid it. Does anyone have any ideas for this?
Victor, my family's been running a successful moonshine business off our back property for the last 10 years without ever getting raided. You sure you don't think that's a safe place?
No offense, but this cult was able to influence the police and judicial system. If you think your family would be safe from that.
I mean, considering we're at odds with them on a constant basis and ain't been caught, I would trust my family still a whole lot more than I'd trust a lot of other places.
Do I get to roll? Do I get to roll now?
What?
We're in development phase.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking we'll be wrapping up pretty soon. So yes, everybody can roll the development of your skills.
Hey,
We're also recovering luck.
We will recover luck. We're also going to do your rewards for finishing this chapter.
Woohoo!
firearms did not upgrade. Come on.
It's fine.
Let's go.
48. First aid bad, language bad.
My natural world went up.
Wait. Why is this saying?
By 10.
Oh, there we go. 10. Dodge,
English
fighting brawl.
not upgraded.
Man, I spent like sessions fighting people barehanded, and I roll a freaking 2 to upgrade it.
I've spent so
happy
long healing Victor,
my brawl,
and I didn't get it upgraded. That makes me sad.
Charm upgraded by 9%. Dodge upgraded by 3%. Firearms not upgraded.
Well, I'm very surprised that your firearms did not get upgraded. Very, very surprised.
I mean, I rolled a 32 out of 90.
Right.
Intimidate upgraded by 6%.
All right.
I'm now a little bit better at scaring people.
My sleight of hand is at 77 now. Sweet. I'm gonna start using that more.
I got a little bit better at English.
Almost got maximum luck. Well, maximum luck regain.
Regained
26 points of luck. Damn.
That's quite a bit. In addition to that, you can all gain just straight up 10 more points of luck.
Okay.
That's a reward for finishing the chapter.
Wait, 92.
So 61.
I'm at 97 luck.
And then to recover your sanity, I'm going to go through a list of the dice. And you can just, in the bottom right corner is the dice table. You can just click on that die size and it'll add it, and you can roll at the end. How's that sound?
Okay.
So for solving your friend Jonathan Hammer's murder is a D6. Because, I'll let you in on a little spoiler here, you are going to exonerate Hilton Adams. That's a D4.
Hell yeah.
Robson is most likely going to get away with being a corrupt cop, so no reward on that one. Madari
Who said he's going to get away?
Madari has
have
been
his name.
neutralized, so you get another D6 for that. The cultists have been broken up. You know that there are more of them out there, but without their leaders, they're going to be considerably less dangerous. So that's a D4.
Or a D4?
Yep. And for defeating some of the Kimba, you get a D8. So I believe that is 2D6, 2D4, and a D8.
Yep.
18. That's not.
Pretty
That's
good.
not good.
Also got 18.
I got
20.
max sanity.
I gained back more sanity than I lost.
Same.
I went from a 65 to an 85.
Oh, my maximum is 85. Yeah, so.
Hey, don't feel too bad. I have 80 sanity.
Yeah, I like how you're
My
bragging
max
about...
is 89.
I like how you're
Max
big...
is,
No, I was saying that's not good. That's not good rolls for 2d4, 2d6, and 1d8.
Well,
And 18. That's not good roll.
I'm just impressed that Travis is bragging about being at max sanity, but it's considerably lower than it might be.
It's considerably lower than the rest of ours.
It is still...
Yeah, mine is 85.
I'm still at max... how much health will I be healing?
It's going to be a few
North.
weeks, and we're going to... we're not going to play through the voyage over the ocean.
Mhm.
So you'll be recovered all of your hit points by the time we pick up again.
Yay.
It's going to be... Unless you tell me I want to do something very dangerous during this downtime, you can just recover all your hit points.
I mean, during this
Alright.
downtime, I would like to learn a little bit more on boat.
During this
I will
downtime.
give you... let me see, where is it?
How long will the voyage be?
2 weeks.
So, travel time from New York to London is 4 to 9 days.
But
Okay.
we have a worse boat than what we have now.
I'm sorry, you have a what?
We have a worse boat than we do now, like in modern times.
Well, yeah, but it's still a
By modern.
really
Still
common
gonna be
voice.
It's
Same.
for the time period.
So it's about a
Okay.
week to travel.
Okay.
Did you ever bring up the fact that we found other occult books, by the way?
No, they
I
never
mean,
did.
I broke mine out and started reading it, but I ain't saying a damn thing to you. If you
Yeah, but
ask, I'll tell you, but I'm not bringing it up of my own volition.
I'm not letting you lay a hand on those books anytime soon.
I guess I'll only ever be able to create zombies. That's fine with me, I guess.
You'll be able to get to them eventually, just not anytime soon.
All right. Now, here's where it gets fun. If you want to
quick
try to
question.
learn... Yeah, go ahead.
Recovering magic points.
That's daily.
Daily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, magic points are supposed to come back quickly.
Okay.
But you have a low limit on them is all.
Yeah. Okay.
Now,
Unless
if
you want
you
to bleed
want
over.
to learn anything on the voyage over the ocean, you got to make a POW check to make sure that you can keep yourself focused on that instead of shuffleboard or lying out on the cots.
Okay. So a POW check. Pow.
I'm assuming this is mostly a formality.
Yeah.
And I'm going to work more on my intimidation, if that's at all possible.
Are we?
We're going to be
I
wrapping
was
up
gonna-
this week.
I was gonna go
okay.
and see if I could go and grab someone and say use them to work on, like say brawl and dodge.
That's fine. Yeah, there can be a boxing instructor on the boat you take on the ship. If you are, all of you pass. So if you are learning, if you're improving an existing skill, you can choose 2 skills and add 4% to each of them. If you're learning a new skill, there's just 1 skill, but you get to add 1d10 plus 1. So if you haven't already added any points to a skill, you can choose it and add 1d10 plus 1. If you've already got points in the skill, you're adding 4 to 2 of them.
Okay. Does that include having leveled it? Like, from passing checks?
No. Let's say no.
Okay.
So 2d4 though.
Yeah, since it's brawl and dodge,
No,
it's
not-
just shoot. No,
Not d4, just 4%
you just said
straight.
it's just plus
Oh,
4.
with 2 4s. Okay, 2
Yeah.
plus 4s.
I think
Okay.
I'm gonna think about what I want to upgrade.
That's absolutely fine.
I want to be funny and say boat and ride.
That's fine. I mean, I don't know that's... Like, that doesn't
The
have to be a
best
joke.
choice.
That can be fine.
Because, like, I know for a fact at one point Connor's gonna have to ride a motorcycle, and I would like to have over 10%.
I think ride is for horseback.
Nope. It's for horseback and motorcycle.
Okay, so I am markedly scarier now. Went from having 15 in Intimidate to 31.
Good. Yeah, you, that's one thing I don't think any of you put points into, but have tried to do a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I have yet to use intimidate. I have always
I
been
put
trying to
points into
persuade
it.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I rolled a natural 1 on my Intimidate the one time that I used it, and I haven't used it ever since.
Meanwhile, me constantly using Intimidate because I'm very scary with a handgun.
So next week, when we start, anything else?
Intimidate go up by 6.
Anything else you want to do in New York real quick before you leave? We can go over that, and then we'll start you off on the next adventure.
Just
Alrighty.
dropping off the lockbox on Pool's doorstep.
I just figure you might want to have a little time to consider before we consider this door closed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would like a cutback to figure out what we're doing exactly and anything else we're gonna finish in New York. If
Okay.
that's okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying we'll do.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, everybody. That's 2 chapters of this adventure through.
Yeah.
Go live!
You've got a little more information about what exactly is going on, but still not enough to really solve any mysteries.
Nope.
I will
I
add...
have a very dangerous book.
I will add the additional documents that you found to Miro before next week so you can reference them and organize them as you see fit.
Cool. Okay.
Thank you all for playing. Do you have anything you want to say before we say goodnight?
Everybody have a good night.
Have a good night.
Have a nice
Donate to charity. Take care of people.
Punch your
Remember
local
to
politician.
Well,
Show a little bit of kindness to the little guy.
let's not advocate for violence on the stream.
Fine.
Good night,
Vote
everyone.
for a local politician.
Voting is
I guess-
important.
I guess my
Vote
main thing
locally
would,
more than you do nationally.
Yeah, Tarek?
be nice to people. Don't bully them.
That's a good one.
Show
Don't,
a little
don't
kindness.
bully them. Don't do whatever's happening on Twitter right now.
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
That's
Don't
always
worry
true.
about it.
Never do whatever's happening on
Don't
Twitter.
don't follow Twitter. It's such a bad place.
I mean, social
Okay.
media in general is a curse.
I'm going to turn off the stream
Whatever-
before we get too controversial.
Yeah.